Green card holders who are moving to U.S. citizenship think that their history of more than 5 years ago do not matter. That may no longer be true. So stick with me a couple minutes to learn the real truth why you need to be more cautious. Hello everyone, I'm attorney Lee Marvin, and I have been practicing law for over 20 years with a focus in immigration law for the last 12 years. My main office is in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I help individuals and families from any state in the country, and actually any country on the planet. You want to know more about this? Well, let me tell you, on August 15th of this year, 2025, USCIS issued a policy memo expanding the authority of immigration agents for processes across immigration, okay? This also increased the importance of the good moral character standard that you've heard about more often than not in the naturalization process. So many aspects of immigration, though, are being impacted by this memo, including the good moral character standards. It especially applies to people seeking naturalization, but it applies to legal permanent residents too. So there's a much bigger emphasis. The government wants to see if you are contributing to American society or if you're causing problems to American society. They look at things that have a positive or a negative impact on the United States. It's no longer about the individual, it's about the United States first and the individual second, okay? There's very real consequences to legal permanent residents like never before. And it depends on your types of crimes, your history, immigration violations. It depends on a lot of that. So there's 5 things that I want to talk to you about today that impacts legal permanent residents, and you must be aware of these, especially if you're traveling internationally and you're re-entering the United States, but more specifically, if you are moving toward the naturalization process. The first one is time outside the United States. If you spent time beyond the 6 months that your green card says you're allowed to spend outside the United States, and you're returning longer than 6 months, especially up to a year, you will be flagged when you re-entered. And this now is going to trigger additional questions from the CBP, Customs, Border Patrol, Customs agent when you're coming through, usually at the airport. They're going to ask you more questions about your history and your status, okay? A note of caution, be especially careful when you're answering these questions, because any lies or misrepresentations, inaccuracies, big inaccuracies, can cause you serious problems. CBP tracks things, right? They know how long you've been gone. If you've been gone more than you're supposed to and you lie, they will use that against you. And they will pull you into secondary inspection, and they will ask you a lot more questions, and it's going to be a very uncomfortable day if you are not completely honest. If it's been longer than you're supposed to, own up to it and see what the consequences are. But do not lie to them, because that is going to be a recipe for disaster. There's reports of people coming through who have been gone for longer or have lied, and immigration is asking them, hey, these are pretty serious violations of your green card. We're suggesting maybe you want to go ahead and surrender your legal permanent residency now. Sign here and we'll do that for you. We'll take care of it for you right now. Be conscious of that. Don't sign that, right? Be conscious of that. They may try to push you into that, especially if you're going through a secondary inspection where the heat is on and the stress is on, okay? So just be mindful of that. Serious caution for that. The other thing, number 2, that I want you to be aware of are your social media activities, okay? You must assume that immigration will be looking at all of your social media. Whether that's true or not, assume it's true, because what you post, if it appears to undermine or attack or overly criticize the United States, because remember, you're not a citizen, you're a legal permanent resident, different standards. So if they see your social media posts and think that you are undermining the United States of America, whether it's the president or if it's our society, they will use that against you and question whether you really have intentions and really want or deserve to remain a legal permanent resident of the United States. This impacts legal permanent residents, but especially naturalization applicants, which are legal permanent residents applying for naturalization, where they can more thoroughly scrutinize your history before they schedule your naturalization interview and testing. If they decide or determine that you are a risk, you're not going to be moving forward like you thought, okay? Often what they do is they find you inadmissible. That is the legal term of art that describes a big problem. Consequences can vary depending on the specific grounds for your inadmissibility, like the type of crime involved that they suspect that you have done or allege that you have done, the national security concerns that they have over you being in the United States, re-entering the United States, or if they allege that you've committed fraud, okay? Those three different things can have an impact on what they can determine your inadmissibility will be. Consequences of being found inadmissible are three different things that they do. One is your complete outright denial of your request for admission, aka entry into the United States. They could just say, nope, you're not coming in today. Whether you're a legal permanent resident or not, you're not coming in. Two, allow you to re-enter the United States, but then immediately process you for deportation. Immediately meaning tell you that you are going to be processed for deportation, and then they will send you the information for you to defend yourself in immigration court. The third option is placing a permanent bar against you, kicking you out of the country, and not ever allowing you to return to the United States. So those are the three different consequences of being determined inadmissible at the time of your attempt to re-enter the United States. I want you to stand by for part 2 of this video. This is a really important video. I didn't want to throw it all into one because it's way too much information to process. So stand by for part 2 of this video, which talks about the 3 remaining significant changes to immigration based on that policy update that all legal permanent residents must be aware of, especially if you're moving forward to naturalization. Make sure to subscribe and to like this channel or this video so that you get notified of the next installment, part 2 of this important video. I saved the most important for part 2 of this video, so you're notified when that comes out. And remember, stay informed and stay safe.